Hello everybody, my name is Will, and Flyout has a Steam page. This is not a drill. Flyout has a Steam page. It will be linked in the description below if you would like to wishlist this game. You cannot yet purchase it. It is not for sale. However, you can add it to your wishlist, which will help out the developers in getting their game, I don't know, recommended and stuff. I've heard it helps out developers, so if you want to help out the Flyout developers, go give it a wishlist on Steam. I'm very excited to see where this game is going to go after it starts raking in the dough from Steam. But yes, today what we're going to be doing is we're going to be building a pencil jet, so something along the lines of the F-104 Starfighter, something along the lines of, well, there's not really too much comparable. I guess the MiG-21, definitely more Starfighter than MiG-21 here. It's the final form of this thing is like a slightly chunkier Starfighter, a little bit wider around the waist. Just because I don't know, I didn't want to quite build a replica. Because the problem is, if I build a replica, there will be imperfections, and you will notice them. You'll notice them, and you'll point them out. So it's not quite a replica. Trust me, this isn't the final cockpit situation. There we go. It's a little bit more shapely. It was a little bit on the tall side, should we say, the first time around. But there you go. That's resolved that. And yeah. So I am on a different branch to last time I was playing this game. Last time I was on version 0.19, I think. Now I'm on 0.206. There's a couple of differences that you should probably want to know about. For one, the wings, you now have these kind of default wings, which are very nice. It's kind of useful to have, especially if you're, really trying to build something quick, to have these like preset parts that you can use. So I'm glad that they've added that. The terrain is a little bit different, and the flight characteristics feel a bit different, but that might be just because of how different this jet is from the rest of the things that I've been building. And here we go, popping in our big old afterburning jet engine. This thing is going to propel us to our final speed, which is going to be high. Other things that they've added, I think, is snapping points on the end of fuselages, so you can kind of snap two sections of fuselage together as if it was like KSP, if you know that kind of connection method. So that is nice to have. I didn't particularly use it for this design, but I can imagine if you have learned with it, then you might use it a little bit more. I'll probably get into the habit of it at some point. And here is the first iteration of our wide body. This was almost a what's the plane? The British one, the naval one, the oh God, what's it called? I can't remember for the life of me. You're all going to tell me in the comments. You know what it looks like. The one with the delta wing with the tail and it's really big. The two-man one. My brain is not. It's absolutely not coming to me, I'm afraid. I'm afraid that is going to remain a mystery to me until I look it up later. But, yeah. Where was I? Jesus. Yeah, these tools. Yeah, I'll probably get used to using them in the future. One slight concern I did have is you can't set all of your materials to the same thing now. You have to go part by part and select each one and copy paste the material on, which is strange. I'm assuming that's a technical limitation rather than a choice. Because it is far more frustrating to go part by part and paste the material on. If it's a technical limitation, then I completely understand that. You've changed how the materials work, can't get it going, no problem. If it's a choice, my personal feedback is I missed that. Please. Please, I want it back. So I ended up actually going with the default material on this because I kept changing it and then I didn't like it by the end and I'd have to go back and redo the whole thing. So the only paint job you're going to see in this video is just the one, because I genuinely spent like 40 minutes trying to come up with an exciting paint job for this thing. And I'm just not good at painting planes, man. No matter what I do, they just don't look great. Now, one thing I'm going to put on this thing, which I didn't do in my last supersonic jet video, which was the Mirage Swing Wing, I think, was full moving tailplane, which was upsetting to a lot of people in the comments. My apologies. I was lazy. I'd put the wings on, and I just wanted to get them working. I could have put it on a joint. I was just lazy. This thing has an all-moving tailplane. I put it in from the start so that my laziness wouldn't get the better of me. So, there we go. All-moving tailplane installed. Granted, doesn't make this thing agile, because I don't think God himself could make this thing agile. Look at the wings on it! There's no way. And these big sections which you saw me put under the engines at the start, I decided to make into little stabilizers up at the front. And we've got these two big tanks which are kind of clipping through. I thought it added a kind of cool shape. It looked a little bit like a Coke bottle kind of shape, but it didn't really fit in the end. I ended up actually narrowing in this body a bit more, and those went further inside the hull so that they no longer clip through the metal. I just thought it looked sleeker, and sleekness is going to be important when you're building something that's going to be going as fast as this thing goes. And onto the paint job now, and onto hopefully finishing up this audio recording, because the cat has decided that she will start attacking me. Oh, woe is her. I only fed her like 30 minutes ago. So, yeah, well, we'll see how I deal with that situation in my own time. But, yeah, I wanted to go with a fairly generic F104 paint job. There was a couple of experimentations with a little bit more exciting paint, but we're just going with a stripe of white around the nose and black on top of the nose. Fairly simple, and then a couple of US roundels on the back. We could have added some text to the side, but when I add text, it tends to just look cheesy, so I didn't really bother. I was also going to go with like a yellow stripe in the middle, kind of like you saw on some Sabres, but it just didn't spark joy, you know? That paint job, it did not spark joy. And this here is actually not the final appearance of this thing. So technically, I sometimes do a couple of modifications just after I stop recording to these things, and this is one of those cases. I stopped recording and I decided I didn't really like it, so the fuselage is a little bit thinner on the one you're going to see me flying. Let me know if you'd like to see this thing with the thicker fuselage again. I don't know what happened to my voice there. Let me know if you want to see this thing with a thicker fuselage. Perhaps I can put a big old delta wing on this thing and see if we can just turn it into a completely different jet. Maybe we'll have some large wings and just see if this works as a normal fighter. Perhaps it will, perhaps it won't. You know, there's options with what we can do with this fuselage, or we can just bin it off entirely and do something completely different. Let me know in the comments what you'd like me to do, and if you don't want to do it in the comments, join my Discord. In the description below, there is a Flyout General channel where you can pop suggestions, or you can pop them in the normal suggestions channel, wherever you want to put them. Why not? Go for it! And whoops, after all that, I did actually narrow the fuselage on recording. There it is, look! It looks better now, I say. But with all that said and done, here we have our Starfighter, or, you know, kind of half-ish Starfighter. It's a little bit chunkier than a Starfighter. Yeah, so, speed. It goes quite quick. Don't actually know where it's going to hit its limit, but I'm slightly concerned that it's going to hit its limit first from running out of fuel. Perhaps we could have done a better job with making an efficient engine, but that's not what we're here for, right? We're here to make something that is extremely quick. I think it looks quite good, to be honest. We don't have any guns and we don't have any missiles on this thing because I want a version of this which is just purely dedicated to speed. We could add missiles, we could add guns, but that's not what this is really about. We're just going to see what this pencil can do. Now, jet engine, probably not the most efficient ever. I'm not the best when it comes to turbine engines. The other thing we could look at for comparison, I guess, is a little while ago, we built this Mirage. This had quite a beefy engine on it, which, to be honest, I think this thing should be quicker then, by quite a margin. Oh, this thing does look quite good, though. But, you know, what else looks good? It's the super fast boy. I think it looks alright. I don't think it's too bad. We got these slightly choppy edges here. I need to get better at hiding those. The smoothing that this game has sometimes kind of makes the edges look a little bit funky, and I'm not really sure what to do about them. You know, this side looks a little bit nicer. But yeah, let's stop holding ourselves up on the floors of the craft and let's fly it. Why not? Okie dokie, so here we are on the runway, and I have forgotten to put brakes on this thing, so landing will be funky, but we probably won't be landing it this time. We'll do that next time, and I'll remember to put brakes on then. But if we get it going down the runway, you can see we are seriously building up a little bit of speed. Now, it does take a while to get off the ground. Obviously, very low lift in terms of just the sheer amount of area dedicated to actually providing any lift to this thing. It's all here. Like, that's not a lot. Much like the real-life F-104. Couple of differences to the F-104 in real life, which I hope will mean that we're quite speedy. Fuel, not good. Perhaps I could have invested in a slightly more efficient turbine. But you know what? Here we are. And we're breaking the sound barrier in a 25-ish degree climb. So that's not too bad, all things considered. I'm going to climb us up to something like 15,000 meters, maybe 20,000. And you'll rejoin me when we're ready to do a little bit of a straight line run and see how far we can get. Oh, boy, are we high up. We're at 14,000 meters, just a little bit more, and I'm going to bring her into a level just burn. Let's see how far we can go. We've got a little bit more in the way of fuel to play around with because we are a little bit more efficient. Well, yeah, at this kind of altitude. Efficient, maybe not the word for this. However, we are a little bit bouncy. I do maybe need fly-by-wire on this thing. I've not set it up, mostly because I'm a little bit lazy. But we should, in theory, be able to build up quite a fair amount of speed here. So I'm going to just go into post-commentary while we gain a little bit of speed, and we'll see how much we get by the end of here. Yeah, this took a little bit of time to actually get up to the top speed of this thing. Acceleration is good, but once you're at this kind of a speed, you just gotta wait because there's so much of this soupy air to push through. And yeah, you can tell when it's this fast just how much you're actually bouncing around in the air, which is something you don't really notice when you're flying it at normal speed. So that's kind of fun, I guess. Okay, and this seems to be our rough limit here, 2.5 Mach. Now, people have done 4. I don't think we're going to be able to squeeze that out of this airframe with just a single jet engine. Maybe if we widened the rear of this thing and gave it twin jets, we might get a little bit more out of it. But simply put, I don't think I've got the technical know-how to make a jet go quite that quick. So here we are. I mean, 2.65 now. We're approaching 2 3/4, but we are in a dive, and we are obviously losing altitude, getting into the thicker air, and we are going to start losing a little bit of performance as we go down. In terms of maneuverability, we definitely have something to write home about with this thing. That is to say, It doesn't turn at all. That's what we're writing home about. No. Yeah, it's not good. It's not good at all. You can pull a lot of Gs when you're at this kind of a speed, for sure. There's no problem with that. However, in terms of low-speed maneuverability, yeah, you're kind of barking up the wrong tree here. This isn't what you want when it comes to low-speed maneuverability. One thing we do have is because we have such a small wing-loading area, we can kind of force the actual nose up without making the aircraft turn. And This variable nozzle doesn't look great. So we can do some pretty wild maneuvers, but they're not particularly fast at actually turning the aircraft around. Like here you can see we can pull the nose up particularly hard, but we're still kind of drifting for quite a long period of time after we actually get to an angle. All in all, I think we've kind of achieved what we wanted to today, which is just building something that can go extremely quickly. That's not bad, to be fair. I think if we put some missiles on this, we'd have a pretty damn good interceptor. And that is to say, it's quick. That's all you really need for an interceptor. So, in fact, why don't we put some missiles on this thing? I'm going to strap a missile under each wing. We're going to go shoot down some target drones, maybe even put a revolving cannon in the nose, and we might be able to use that, but that's a little bit difficult. We got this mouse aim, but as you can see, not the most controllable aircraft in the world, to say the least. So that might not be happening. And oh, what's that? I'm not going insane. This is a lot of condensation. I'm not going insane. There are some, like, fuel silos here. Or grain silos of some variety. And we're kind of doing a trench run right now, aren't we? With only 1 minute and 40 seconds of fuel left, which isn't amazing. But, I mean, look at this thing go. My lord, that is some condensation. Is that the word? Condensation? There's a name for that effect. I don't know it. I know there is one, but I have no idea what it is. One of my favorite things about this is when you pull up, if we do it now, look how much... Look at the effects on the wings. It's just crazy. That is awesome to see. Honestly, I tend to design things that are a little bit slower than this, kind of World War II era, because I think they're cool, but... you know, occasionally you just need something that's stupid fast. Keeps you sane. Okie dokie. So, we have a 20mm on the nose here, just with one barrel sticking out, which is how they tend to be. The question is, which barrel does the gun fire out of? It seems to be the center of all of them. So, for the purposes of us here... Good enough. Yeah. We'll pretend that it's firing out of that one barrel. Why not? And there you go. Doesn't quite have the right ring to it, does it? We're going to go through this ammo super quickly, but here we go. Wow, that is... that is higher pitched than I expected. Oh, wow. Oh, wow. Oh, my. I really thought we would have run out of ammo by now. Oh, good God. How much? Okay. Never mind, that's quite a lot of ammo. Wow, okay. Okay, well, let's take this armed version up. We're going to shoot down a couple of target drones, see if we can get one with our guns. Hopefully we'll be able to get them with our missiles, maybe two. And in theory, we'll be able to land as well. So we should have a full little mission here. So let's start by spawning in a target drone. And let's see, where is it? It's going to fly overhead, so this is a proper scramble here. We're going to be having to lift up and get our weapons on its 6 very quickly, because it's going to go right overhead. Now we are good, and up into the air. There's our target drone. We don't want to actually outspeed it, which could definitely happen here. So we're going to drop the throttle down. IR missile engaged. Wait for it to pass overhead, and here we go. Pull up, pop the afterburner back on, just for a little bit more on the in the way of go. And shall we give her a launch? Come on, come on! No, where are you going? That's not right. That's not right at all. Oh man. Okay, we'll try again. We've got one more. That's what we bring spares for. Come on. Stay locked. Where are you going? You are a nut job. Okay, it's time to see if mouse aim fancies working with us here. I'm getting the suspicion, an odd feeling, that it's not going to. Come on, you've got this. You'll be alright. No. Oh, goodness me, what are you doing? To be fair, it's not the easiest thing for the AI to fly, I guess. Yeah, okay. And aiming with WASD is going to be just as unpredictable and wild. So I don't think... Oh, I think this target drone's going to live another day, unfortunately. That's annoying. Where did my missiles go? I think they're locked onto themselves or something. That was really weird. Okay, we're gonna have another go here. We have to shoot down a target drone in this video. The guns, it's not happening, but the missiles, surely, surely we can do it with some guided missiles. I cannot believe how bad the 2 shots we had before were. So we'll try again. And this time, we have no chance of failure. Okay, we're closing in on the 6 of a target drone. This time, let's fire our missiles from a little bit further out, so hopefully they have less of a chance of overshooting before they get a lock. So here we go, trying a shot on the target drone now. That's looking good. It's looking good. There we go. Target drone down. Can we get 2 for 2? If we spawn a second one in, whereabouts is it? It's over there, heading away from us, which is ironically kind of what we want. We're so quick that we catch up to them way, way, way faster than you'd expect. Now, this one's going to take a right turn compared to us, so, I mean, can we try it? We could try a launch from here. I don't think it's going to work, but why not? Maybe it will, maybe it won't. No, it's gone to Netherland. Why not? Yeah, and I'm guessing mouse aim. Yeah. Just get threatened by my wiggles. Oh man, right. Well, yeah. Let's leave that embarrassment behind us and let's see if we can bring this thing in for a proper landing. Okay, here we go. We've had the engines off for quite a while to slow down to this kind of a speed. It's still spooling, so we can always give it a little bit of beans if we're coming in too slowly, but I reckon we won't need too much. Maybe 10-12%, because even that much is going to be fast enough to keep us at 500 odd kilometers an hour here, no sweat. Now, we don't actually have flaps on this thing, which is definitely a downside, so we're going to have to be a little bit careful when it comes to actually touching down, because we don't want to stall this thing out. Flaps would definitely help in this case, but it's fine. We've got plenty runway. And if we miss, we have plenty desert. So we'll be alright. Let's just give her a little bit of flare, a little bit more throttle, and see if we can get a... The plane has gone. Perfect landing every time. Thank you for flying with myself. Well, on that bombshell, I hope you enjoyed this one. Please leave a like, comment, and or subscribe if you did. This fellow wants you to. Look at him. Look at those eyes. He wants you to. We do silly things like this all the time. In Sprocket, in Flyout, in Trailmakers. It's a good time. But anyway, I won't keep you for much longer. I will say a goodbye. And a huge thank you as always to my patrons. Burner Potato, CamJam135, Cody, NDJ, Pete, Gavoon, Gummaster 929, Seth Catches, Casual, T61, Lost 11, Mark, Marley, Investor, Nicholas K, Russell, Ryan Brody, the Canadian Emperor, Zone, Sharon, Wolverine. Thank you!